The last type of unit we're going to discuss is capacity, and this is whenever you fill up an object. These are all measures of volume. I remember being in elementary school and making a little cutout guy out of these units: cup, pint, quart, gallon. Like the gallon, what is his body, and then his arms and legs were the quarts, and then his like hands were the pints, and his fingers were the cups. I remember making one of those. Is that just me? I see no recognition. Okay, a couple of you. All right, fair enough. So these conversions are from the imperial system. We'll do some metric system problems here in a second, and it will come as no surprise to you what the metric system looks like. But let's go ahead and do a few of these imperial conversions.
I have a question. Are we supposed to remember all the formulas? Yeah.
Are you supposed to remember all the conversions? Is that what you're asking me? Like, are you supposed to remember how many ounces are in a cup? Is that your question? Are we supposed to memorize how many ounces are in a cup?
Well, you're asking like it's the
pounds or in the ton or
Like,
Yeah.
what if I don't remember?
Are you asking me, am I supposed to remember all the units?
Yes.
Yeah, you should go make flashcards and commit them to memory, because it's not like you could just look this stuff up. Oh,
Well, don't they give
you can just look this stuff up, can't you?
No.
Yeah. You can't? I mean,
Doesn't Google convert stuff for you?
yeah, I would just, if you forget how many ounces are in a cup, I would Google how many ounces are in a cup. And I'm sure it'll
But
tell
I'm
you.
saying, like, on the final, like, what if, like...
Oh, yeah. If,
Like, would you give us
I'll
that?
give you the measurements that you'll need to answer any questions on the final. There's tons of these. There's no reason to memorize them. Now the metric system ones you'll probably have memorized because they're all the same. But the imperial ones, no, I would not spend 1 second of your life memorizing these units. But I would maybe make a little note card that has them all on there, so you've got them to refer to as you're doing your assignments, so you don't have to keep flipping through your notes. Probably would be a bad idea to keep them all in the same spot. Okay.
Wait, so is metric like the U.S. and everything else is imperial? Or?
No, everything else is metric. The U.S. is imperial. We're the weirdos that do cups and gallons and pounds, and everybody else does kilos and hectos. Okay, so to convert 9 quarts into gallons, we want to multiply by the appropriate unit fraction. We want a fraction that includes both quarts and gallons. So what we can do is take the 9 quarts, which is abbreviated QT, and multiply by some kind of unit fraction that has gallons on the top and quarts on the bottom, right? The thing you want on the top and the thing you have on the bottom. So the question is, how many gallons and how many quarts? How many gallons are there and how many quarts are there? Yeah, it's 1 gallon to 4 quarts. Okay? Just like with every other conversion, you make the first one a fraction. You cancel the units that are on top and bottom. And then you go straight across. 9 times 1 is 9. 1 times 4 is 4. And it's 9/4 gallons. Which is fine. 9/4 gallons is okay. Or you could convert this into a mixed number, which is 2 1/4. 2 1/4 gallons, like so. Two 1/4 gallons. Okay, let's do another one. "14 cups converted to quarts." So we need a fraction that has both cups and quarts in it. I'm going to do 14 cups multiplied by something that had, well, I want quarts and I have cups. So quarts over cups. So how many cups are there in a quart? And the answer is, I don't know, because I don't have anything that converts directly from cups to quarts. I got cups to pints and then pints to quarts, and that's what I'm going to have to do. In 1 quart, there are 2 pints. So I'm going to do 1 quart. 1 quart has 2 pints, and 1 pint is 2 cups. So how many quarts, or how many cups are there in 1 quart?
4.
There are 4 cups in a quart because there are 2 pints, and then each pint has 2 cups. So 4 cups. If I lost you there, what you can do is you can say, well, I want to convert from 2 pints to 1 quart. And then I'm going to do the 2 cups for every 1 pint conversion. See how we got pints on the top and pints on the bottom? So 4 cups for every 1 quart. 4 cups on top, 1 quart on the bottom. And if we flip it, quart on top and cups on bottom. Okay, so let's cancel the cups. And I get 14/4 quarts. 14/4 quarts is totally fine, or you can go ahead and convert that into a mixed number. It's 3 2/4, or 3 1/2 quarts. I like both of those answers. Either one of those is fine. Pick your favorite.
So we couldn't do like 3 quarts and 1 pint?
You could do, sure. She said, can you do 3 quarts and 1 pint? Sure, absolutely. Absolutely, you could. Okay. So subtraction problems at this point shouldn't come as a surprise to you how we do these. We line them up. 4 gallons, 2 quarts, minus 0 gallons, 3 quarts. And we're running into a problem here that by now is fairly familiar to us. You can't do 2 minus 3 without getting a negative number of quarts. So what do? We borrow. We borrow 1 gallon. So instead of 4, it's 3, and we take that gallon and move it into the quarts column. The question is, when I take 1 gallon and put it in the quarts column, how many quarts is that? 1 gallon is 4 quarts. So instead of 2, it's going to be 6.
Wait, no, I'm adding.
6 minus 3 is 3. And then 3 gallons. That seem okay? So the metric system has the exact same prefixes you're used to, except instead of doing meters, which was our unit for length, or grams, which was our unit for weight, we are now going to use, anybody know what the metric system measurement is for volume? Liters, exactly right, liters. So we have kiloliters. Now, kiloliters, hectoliters, decaliters, and then liters, we generally do, I don't know why, that is a capital and the others are lowercase. I can't really explain to you why, it's just the way it's written. Liters is capital. Not a big deal either way. Deciliters, centiliters, and milliliters. Maybe it's capital so that it doesn't look like the number 1. Maybe that's why they did it. I don't know. So kiloliter, hectoliter, decaliter. That's when you punch a carton of milk. That is a liter. That is a deciliter. Centiliter. Milliliter. And oops, can't spell. Milliliter. And the take me to your liter. Sorry, I misspelled milliliter. M-I-L-L-I-L-I-T-E-R. Milliliter. And in honor of the milliliter, I will not actually speak during this next problem, but I will move my mouth while I play a recording of someone speaking. We call that the milli-vanilli-liter. Nope, nope, no one in this fading republic knows who Milli Vanilli is anymore. Fantastic.
I do.
Fantastic. You kids have no culture. No.
They're not missing much.
How dare you?
No, Jerry.
How dare you, sir? So, just like every other thing we've done, as you move to the right, we will multiply by 10. And as we move to the left, you will divide by 10. And if you make a mistake, just blame it on the rain. No? Nothing? I swear. All right, you all have an extra homework assignment tonight.
What?
Go to Wikipedia, look up Milli Vanilli, learn a thing or two. I expect a 3-page single-space report next week on the rise and fall of Milli Vanilli. All right, so I'm going to set this to the side here so I can keep an eye on that as we do some of these conversions here.
You didn't buy the album.
You people are hated. You do not understand good quality talent when you see it. Okay, so from milliliters to liters means I'm going to go from the lowest possible unit, milliliters, up to right in the middle, liters. So I'm moving 1, 2, 3 times to the left. Okay? 3 times to the left means I'm going to divide by 10 3 times. So I take 3,210 milliliters. If I divide by 10 once, that gives me 321 centiliters. If I divide by 10 again, that gives me 32.1 deciliters. And if I divide by 10 again, that gives me 3.21 liters, which is actually what I wanted, 3.21 liters. Deciliters to milliliters. When I do that conversion, will I be moving to the right or to the left?
Right.
To the right. From deciliters to the right, how many times?
2.
2 times. So if I take the 0.185 deciliters and I multiply by 10 once, what will I get?
1.85.
Good. 1.85 centiliters. If I multiply by 10 again, I get 18.5 milliliters, which is the measurement that I wanted. Okay. I'm sure at this point it will not come as any surprise to you how to add these. What would I need to do to add them?
Convert them to the common.
Exactly right. Convert them to a common unit. It doesn't matter to me which one you want. You can turn the milliliters into liters, or you can turn the liters into milliliters. There are advantages and disadvantages either way. If you turn the milliliters into liters, you'll have to deal with decimals. If you turn the liters into milliliters, you will have to deal with enormous numbers. It doesn't matter. I kind of prefer smaller numbers, and I'll just deal with the decimals. So I'm going to convert milliliters to liters. So 2,400 milliliters. If I divide by 10 once, that's 240 centiliters. If I divide by 10 again, that's 24 deciliters. And if I divide by 10 one more time, that's 2.4 liters. So what I'm actually doing is 2.4 liters plus 8.9 liters. This is pretty simple decimal addition. We're not doing anything fancy here. It's 11.3 liters. Yes.
Do you mean to add, not put 2 in between the 2,400 milliliters to add to the 8.9 liter? Kind of confusing.
I don't understand your question. Can you ask it again?
Okay, you're adding your 2,400 milliliters
Yes.
to your 8.9.
Correct.
But it almost looks like really up there, you're converting it to 8.9 because you put 2 instead of just the plus sign by itself.
Okay. So you're talking about the words. I'm using the words add and to. This is the same thing as this plus this. This is just another way to write it. Add these two things together.
Okay.
Add this on top of this.
Okay.
Or take this total and add this much to it. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's just another way of saying plus.
Yeah.
Okay. Multiplication is also just as easy as you would expect, especially when you're multiplying by just a number instead of the unit. This is the kind of problem you would do if you were talking about dosage. You need somebody to take a certain dosage a certain number of times per day. You would multiply it out to see what's the total amount of stuff you need. You literally just multiply the numbers like normal. If you have a calculator, it's totally fine for you to use it. I don't like to use calculators. I like to impress people with my sick math skills. Are you all impressed?
Yes.
Are you thinking to yourself, my God, he's like a human calculator? No? Nobody's thinking that? All right, that's fair. So about 43 is what I expect for my answer. And this makes sense when you think about it. This was like about 12, a little bit more than 12, and I'm multiplying it by a little bit more than 3. 12 times 3 is 36. So I expected my answer to be a little bit higher than 36, which it is. So this answer makes sense. Does anyone have any questions about capacity?